Lero, and the show is Friday Night Debates.
And in that process of accepting people, introducing those people to Jesus Christ, introducing them to the steps and the precepts of Jesus Christ.
Is disempowering for me. So going back to being an African right now, if you talk to a young person in Africa and tell them, go into the basics, I'll say go to farm.
Empower Bank, which was established to say that we want youths to gain funds.
So I wish you can refer to me the examples of these extroverts that have made it today for us to prove and support your notion.
To really spend the time in doing the research and doing the innovation in order to get to the point where you can produce a new product for.
The name is Lero, and the show is Friday Night Debates. You know, when someone finishes their degree, the next thing they think about is going to South Africa or going to any other nation to find greener pastures. But the youth are the future, and the youth are the leaders of tomorrow. So we need to give them hope. So today in the studio, I'm joined by 3 gents, and we are going to be debating, is it because the youth have lost hope because there are no opportunities in Zimbabwe, or the youth of Zimbabwe, they're just reluctant? Gents, welcome to the show. May you please introduce yourself to the viewers.
Hello viewers, I'm High Rev Rockstar, and yeah, pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much.
What's your profession? Sorry.
I am a musician. I do crafts. I'm creative. There's a number of things I do, but mostly a musician. So yeah.
Thank you. My name is Lyson Anesu Koindepi. I'm a musician. Yes, I'm a musician. I'm a public speaker. I'm a motivational speaker, and I'm currently working with Germinate Zimbabwe, a youth-led non-profit organization. Yes, thank you.
My name is Mondes, representing the Union. I'm currently involved as more of like an activist for different marginalized groups.
Wow. Okay. What are the marginalized groups saying? Is it because the youth of today are reluctant, or there are not enough opportunities in Zimbabwe?
Marginalized groups are actually crying of stigma. For example, there's this youth fund which was released now by the government. They were saying the youth fund was mainly catering for the businesses, for different businesses, but actually the youth fund didn't talk about the disabled people. The government didn't specifically set a fund aside for them. So they're crying about being excluded in main government programs.
Okay, so you are saying the disabled, they are not getting in same opportunities as other youth in Zimbabwe.
Yes, exactly.
So marginalized groups, we are only talking about the disabled, or
We are talking about the disabled and other people who are coming from who are vulnerable.
okay. Is he telling the truth?
Well, to be honest with you, I would believe that to some extent, maybe it might be something which is taking both directions in terms of the reluctantness and the opportunities, but to a very great extent, I believe that currently the Zimbabwean situation is not bringing about enough opportunities for young people within the environment. Because when you're speaking about opportunity, you're saying it's a situation which makes something possible to be done, right? And we are saying that, okay, I'll give a very good example of everybody's preaching the gospel of entrepreneurship. But how can I be an entrepreneur without the right conducive environment for me to be in entrepreneurship? Because what you have to understand is that money comes from money.
Yes.
You understand? So if I do not have money to start up that idea that I have, how then do I make money? So in as much as us young people are trying to improve ourselves, to a greater extent we feel that we're not being met halfway. You understand? Because to a greater extent as a musician, there are no rights which are currently protecting the rights of musicians in terms of the distribution of their work. There are no exhibitions which are being done in order for the arts people to publish their works. So to a greater extent, I feel like the opportunities in our country are very minimal.
Okay, I like that. But James, look at it this way. You know what? You are the leaders of tomorrow.
Yes.
You are the future.
Yes.
And complaining is not going to create opportunities for you.
Yes.
Yes, the opportunity. You are saying the opportunities are not enough.
Yes.
What are you doing? Are you not reluctant as well? What are you doing to create opportunities even for the next generation or the generation that you will lead?
You know, I would love to jump in there. I really do feel that young people are reluctant. Why do I say so? I know a couple of young guys, who have done incredible things from a zero platform. And when I say zero platform, I mean literally without a cent, without anything, but they've managed to achieve and to rise to greater heights.
In Zimbabwe.
In Zimbabwe, we might cry and say, okay, maybe organizations are not doing this, government is not doing that, ABC, but in a way, it generally comes back to us, me as an individual. You know, someone once said this statement that if you are a seed, it doesn't matter whether they throw you in a desert or they throw you, but as long as you are a seed, you always germinate somehow. So in a way, I do feel that young people, youths are reluctant. I was still trying to give a citation of certain youth I know. I know of young people who have written books, just using phones. We might cry and say, I don't have a laptop, I don't have this. Just using, what do you have? You can start a garden, tomatoes, start selling that. So we are reluctant as young people.
In Zimbabwe, we've got a lot of land. Why can't we use that as an opportunity?
Okay, I would first of all say that basically our orientation has been about blue-collar jobs from the time that we have been born in Zimbabwe. However, we are at that critical point whereby we're starting to realize that our skills are very essential in terms of practical skills. We're looking at farming, we're looking at crafting, we look at poetry, we're looking at different things that can be undertaken. But then we are now saying that us as the youths, looking at the ratio of farm owners in Zimbabwe, you'll see that a very limited number of youths have got access to those farms, have got access to that land. Yes, I can have a backyard garden, but it can only sustain me and maybe my siblings, of which maybe we 4 of us, we all youths in that family, we've got a mother, we've got a father, and we're saying that through that backyard garden, through that small scale farming, yes, we can resell and get money to do other things, but we are not getting the money and the resources for us to further develop ourselves further. And getting to what you were saying, where you were saying that every seed germinates. Yes, every seed germinates, and we have people who are making it, even in the hard times. But we are saying that the number of people who are making it, it's very few. It's like you are putting a mango, an apple, a baobab tree all on the rock and say germinate. Yes, a baobab tree maybe can come up with, can germinate and give fruits because of the strength of its root. But does a banana tree germinate on top of a rock?
Okay. Besides what you mentioned, that there's this organization which was giving funds and they neglected the disabled and those from very poor backgrounds. What other opportunities are you talking about?
Of youth?
Yes, the opportunities that are not enough.
Okay. I think the opportunities which are not enough is that some people, I think, is it being scared or what. Some people don't even know about the available opportunities.
So the opportunity is there, but the youth, they are reluctant. They don't want to research. They don't want to go where the opportunities are. They just want to sit down and maybe wait for the opportunity to come to them.
Yes, to some extent.
Okay, so it's also, so now we are also blaming the youth as well.
Yes, blaming the youth to meet up with the opportunities.
Okay. Would you want to engage?
I think I support what he's saying. Reluctance due to what reasons? The number one reason, in my view, reluctance is brought about because of the conditioning which was subjected to, as young people. And what conditioning am I talking about? I'm talking about too many comforts. We cry and we say, okay, this and that, this and that, this and that. But, young people are too much into television. Young people are too much into partying. Young people are too much into, this and that. And at the end of the day, you find that all these things end up waking a mindset in them where they are relaxed and they feel as though, opportunities don't come my way. Opportunities are ever there. They might be few. I do agree, but from those few opportunities which are there, we can actually have millionaires, sprouting, and from that 1 millionaire, he can create multiple more businesses, etc., etc. So, reluctance, in a way, it really weighs more to the young people, because of comforts and all that.
They say opportunities are created. How far is that?
I would like to appreciate the fact that, in as much as he's saying that the youth of today are reluctant, he's also appreciating the fact that the opportunities are very scarce. Yes, but coming to your point, whereby you're saying that opportunities are created. Yes, opportunities are created, and currently with the youth of today, you understand that, in as much as we have been brought up in this conditioning that I've also spoken about, whereby we were looking at certain types of jobs as what we should take and not what we used to. The opportunities that we are creating at times are not being met halfway. Like I said earlier on, we've got policies which are not protecting those few people who are coming up with those brilliant ideas. We've got ideas which are being stolen from the youth. You understand? Just because somebody doesn't have a way to protect their idea. I'll give an example to say that Youth Empower Bank, which was established, to say that we want youths to gain funds from this. But currently, how many youths have had the access to those funds? How many youths can we say that they
What would be
managed?
interesting? What would be interesting, in my view, is if maybe it was possible, we then have a statistic maybe given to us as to how many have applied, etc. You find that the percentage of people who've actually applied for those funds, it's very few, because they're reluctant.
At the
People
back
are
of their
lazy.
mind, they are like, you know what, it's so obvious, I'm not going to get that.
And then they just sit and do nothing.
And why is it so obvious? Because for
Maybe we are lying to ourselves as youth. We are telling ourselves that it's hard out there. Have you ever tried and it failed?
Yeah, I understand your point of view, but for me to say that it's obvious this is not going to work is because I've tried it, and maybe I've tried it a couple of times, and maybe I've heard someone who say that they have tried it.
But
So,
a lot of people have had.
yes, a lot of people have had. Yes, it's something which is in two ways. Actually, as I said earlier on, that yes, to a certain extent, we are reluctant. Yes, we have let go of our responsibilities as the youth. But the problem is, when you see those who are taking those responsibilities not being met halfway, it then discourages even those who want to take up those responsibilities. You understand? So if an environment can be created which then seeks to uplift those who are even trying, then those who are not trying can be encouraged to say, okay, I think it has been my fault because I've been viewing this from this point of view. But because so and so they've made it and it has worked for them. Trust me, a lot of people right now, a lot of youth are taking it to the internet. They're looking to make a way of living out of the internet. We're speaking of forex trading, amongst a lot of other things that young people are doing out there. But then we are saying, is the environment conducive? Not everyone can be a forex trader.
Yes, I get that. But you know, statistically, the youth that are trying to do all those things that you just said,
Yes.
those are people who are maybe university students with access to internet and stuff. The rest of the youth who are in the ghetto, they've given up. Okay, they're just doing drugs or, you know, exchanging money or something. They don't have the vision of building Zimbabwe. They don't have the vision of becoming the leaders of Zimbabwe. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One day you wake up and you are now 60 and you are now a leader. It is during this time of hardship that you are supposed to create the kind of foundation that you want to see when you are 60.
Yeah, but you have to understand that you can only create a foundation that you're permitted to. Because in as much as you create your own opportunities, there are things which are there that you cannot run away from. We'll go back to the definition of opportunity, which says it is a situation which makes it conducive for something to be done.
A situation which you can create.
Yes,
for
which
yourself.
I can create for myself. But
I don't know, maybe you would also want to step in, but you know, I feel we play the blame game too long, you know, too much.
Exactly.
And like this blame game, it's ending up affecting a lot of productivity which could have been happening, but it's no longer happening because, you know, too much blame, and at the end of the day, the way I now think, the way I now perceive things, you know, makes me feel like, what's the use? Let me just sit. You know, I become reluctant and relaxed, and, you know, I'm no longer someone who is a go-getter. And, you know, earlier on you mentioned issues to do with, you know, drug abuse and all that. This is the reality on the ground. You know, a lot of my peers, a lot of young people, you know, it's just, you know, it's just another day. You know, it's just another day. You know, do I have the drive to let me go and do something? You know, from nothing, from a point of nothingness. We can strive, you must see why I know. You know, if you follow his story, you actually see that this was a person who was, you know, forceful. You know, he had a vision that I want to achieve from an early age. And this is what I feel my peers, we need to be doing, you know, from a young age, with zero whatever, you know, just have that mind that I'm going to achieve something big, and you go for it.
Okay, we are playing the blame game too much. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think I'm playing the blame game too much. For example, I attended a meeting, I think that was around March, about the constitutional amendment bill. It was organized by HET. So they were saying about only 17% of the possible 5,000 youths in the country know about the constitutional amendment bill.
Yeah, which is so true.
In some youth actually have neglected those public hearings, saying they are not part of the inner political circle, they have nothing to gain, because you can invite a youth to a meeting and then they will ask you, what money are you giving me?
Exactly.
And then how could you convince such a person? So now you have to incentivize the cost itself.
Yes.
So I'm saying sometimes the youth shun the opportunities which are available, and at the end of the day, and they complain that the system is not fair.
Okay. Who do you want to
Yeah, I agree with you. Yes, as youths, we should take up our responsibilities. But I would go back to the same thing that I said earlier on. Are those who are taking up the responsibilities being satisfied for the efforts that they're making? I'll give you a very good example. Currently, we've got teachers' colleges which are filled with people. Not everyone can be a service provider, like streamers. You follow this vision. So maybe my vision is to be a teacher, but let's go to the civil service. How many youths are getting the opportunity that soon after college they're getting to have a job, to be a teacher? Let's look at the ratio. Are there any policies which are governing the fact that once a person is deemed fit for retirement, they retire? Because currently we are having people who have worked in those schools since, I will tell you that the person who taught the firstborn in my family who now is a kid, who is almost about to go to varsity, is still a teacher. But I'm saying that I'm just 5 months away from graduation to being a teacher. So then, is there an opportunity there? Because the elders are not willing to hang their boots and say, okay, we are tired, of which, yes, we cannot blame them because everyone is seeking to make a living.
Okay.
You understand? So maybe if we can have the environment which is good for them also to say, okay, I've come to the retirement age and I'm doing away with this, then us as the youth, we can also have those opportunities to venture into those industries.
If the opportunity is currently not available, why can't we adapt to what is there so that we can build Zimbabwe?
My question
that's
then becomes,
the spirit we
Lero,
want.
the question then becomes, what is it which is there?
Beds which they call wiki beds.
Yes.
And these beds are just like 1 meter by 1 meter.
Yeah.
But if you get to learn about them, you actually see that with just 5 beds, you can be able to make a lot of money, which is equivalent to the money that you might be getting if you become a
Thank you very much. You know, like what you said there, you know, I 100% disagree with people who say there are no opportunities. Opportunities are ever there. As long as you are breathing, as long as you are living, as long as the sun rises every morning, there is an opportunity somewhere. There's never a time, you know, except maybe if now it's a world war or something and there's a nuclear, you know, then we can say. But you know, as long as you are breathing, you are living, there's always an opportunity somewhere. The problem is with young people coming to your side. Young people always see themselves as CEOs, and you know,
they don't want
before they, you know, realize that I have to start here.
Yes.
You know, so the sooner we instill that mindset in ourselves as young people, that, you know, it's not about policies, it's not about laws, it's not about systems per se. Yes, systems are there, they can make it harder, you know, but as long as I have a mindset that an opportunity is ever there, you'll succeed.
I also feel like it has to also be 50-50. The young people, yes, young people, let's start from the bottom, but also like what he's saying, I think the system also has to meet us halfway.
Now I want to crush you. Now I want to crush you. This thing about 50-50.
It's very
fine.
true.
It's fine.
Very true.
It's fine. Yes.
You know,
yes.
in my family we've got 5 kids, right? But we've got 1 big here.
That's why I'm
You
saying
understand.
different opportunities.
Exactly.
It's not farming
Yes,
only.
it's not- yes.
Find something else.
And you understand
Or
that
use YouTube. These days, everyone is on YouTube trying to do videos to
how
get
many
money.
people have got access to that data? How many
Did you-
people? Because like
Did you see that Zimbabweans, they watch 200, you get millions of views
let me
on
okay.
YouTube.
I'll say something that I said later on when I say at times you have to understand that in as much as I want to do something,
Yes.
right? Not everyone can be a farmer. My passion is in teaching.
But maybe
Right.
if your passion,
And-
the opportunity for your passion is not there, why can't you do something and that will take you there? Maybe for now, do YouTube while you wait for that opportunity, or teach on YouTube.
Yes, I'm teaching on YouTube.
Yes.
What policies are there to govern that my efforts are working? None.
Okay,
So
I
at the end of the day-
would love to have, you know, youth that will say, me, I have started teaching on YouTube. Now I'm challenging the system to create policies.
We've got
that-
musicians who are already
because
doing
the
that.
youth,
Or
the youth,
are
they
being
complain.
paid?
Okay, yes, I'll take that. But the youth, you know what they do? They complain while they are seated and watching TV. They are saying they are not even doing anything. At least let's start doing something, and then maybe we can start playing the blame game now.
Out of a population, you always find the other guys and the other guys. I believe
Yes.
even in the elders of today,
But
there are
our
people.
situation, I think it's just too much, because you see a lot of talent, a lot of potential is going out of Zimbabwe, which is a problem, because by the time, you know, this generation is going to be the future, like what I've
Yes,
said.
yeah.
And you wake up and realize that the future is outside of Zimbabwe and not in Zimbabwe. Who is going to create a better Zimbabwe?
Yes, my question then becomes, if we go out of the country, are we going there to sit or to work?
we are going to
Yes,
work
which
right.
means that we are not lazy, but it's just because the opportunities out there are there and we are taking
But
them.
Zimbabwe is ours. Who's going to build it for us if we run
I
away
would
from
love to. It's Indota Ifizami. You know, it's actually, you know, you try. You try. You know, we speak about musicians. I'm a musician. You know, how did I learn to play the guitar? How did I learn to play the keyboard? You know, how did I first, you know, approach the stage, etc. You know, I had to start from nothing, and I achieved. So there's really no excuse for you to say, hey, me, I can't play, you know, I can't play an instrument because I don't have money to buy a keyboard. Really?
Okay. So from this debate, you know, I'm gathering that, you know what, in as much as we've got youth who want to try, they're still facing some obstacles. But at the same time, the majority of the youth, they're just complaining, but they are not even doing something. You know, they just want to get that degree and wake up in an office.
Is it then not an effort to get that degree?
It is an effort, but we need to move. We need to move with the times. You know, yes, we need to move with the times. You have made an effort of getting that degree, but you've realized that the environment that you are in is not conducive for you to use it. So what are you going to do? Are you going to sit back and say, I have a degree, so but the opportunities are not there, so I'm just going to sit?
I've got a degree, but the opportunities which are within my capabilities are not there. So what do? I look elsewhere. Because some are elephants, some are fish, some are monkeys. We all can do the same thing, right? And truly speaking, I would like to allude to say that you started from nothing. There is nothing called starting from nothing. You start from something, because if you didn't have money, you knew someone who had a keyboard.
I strongly, you know,
Okay.
you know, I don't know what's still recording, but I'm thinking I'm going to shift and go
No,
outside.
okay, fine. We will spend the whole day debating right here.
Yes.
Advise them to be innovative and advise many people to research more rather than condemn practices.
Thank you. And what would you do?
Okay, in conclusion, I'd just like to say that everything serves a purpose. Yes, as youth, it's high time that we take a responsibility and understand that not only the future but the present is in our hands. But also, from the other side, I believe those who have got the power to make things better, they should understand that in as much as I might do a welding certificate, but we also need bankers, we also need teachers, we also need people who are going to be managers. We also, everyone serves a purpose. So, as the youth, we should take up the little opportunities that we have and try to improvise and try to create something for ourselves. But also, may we have policies and a conducive environment for us to be able to do that.
Okay, last words, I don't know.
There is no excuse. That's what I want to say. There is no excuse.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, James, for coming to the show. Thank you so much. This was an interesting debate. Zimbabwe, the youth are ready. They are saying, you know what, we are not lazy and there is no excuse for failure. We are going to start from the bottom, right? We are going to do our part. But also the cry is that our mothers and our fathers out there who are in high positions or who are the policymakers, may you please try to meet us halfway, am I right? Yes. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to leave your comments below and like and subscribe to our channel. Remember also to take care of others and yourselves as well. From me, it's bye for now.